It's Wildlife Wednesdays and we're down in the woods because this week it's all about woodpeckers. There's 3 different species of woodpecker in the UK. That's the great spotted woodpecker, the lesser spotted woodpecker and the green woodpecker. The great spotted woodpecker is our most common woodpecker. It's black and white and has red tail feathers, and the males, only the males, have got red on his head as well. The female's got black head. The lesser spotted woodpecker is a smaller bird, but same sort of coloration. It's black and white, but it doesn't have the red tail feathers, and the wings are a bit more sort of barred. But just like the great spotted woodpecker, the males have got a red head. Unfortunately, these guys are very rare these days. They are on the UK's red list of birds of conservation concern, and they are a priority conservation species for the RSPB. They don't quite know what's caused the decline in numbers, but they're reckoning it's something to do with not being able to get enough food for the chicks. And then the green woodpecker is our biggest woodpecker. It's got green upper parts, it's got a paler underbelly and bright yellow kind of backside. Now, males and females of this species have got a red head, so you can't tell the difference there, but they also have a black bar that comes off of their beak, and that's how you tell the difference between a male and female of a green woodpecker, because the female is pure black, and then the male has got a red stripe in that black bar. And late February is a good time to see or hear woodpeckers in the UK, because they start becoming more vocal and start doing their territorial drumming on the trees. And with all the trees still bare, the visibility is at its peak. The great spotted woodpecker particularly is out and about now. It's going to be sort of drumming on dead trees, branches, even like telegraph poles sometimes, to mark its territory and to try to attract some mates. As you know, these guys are proper headbangers, and they can bang their head up to 20 times per second, which accumulates to about 10,000 pecks a day. And for all those nerds out there, they can whack their head at equivalent of a G-force of about 1,200 Gs. That is nuts. So how the bloody hell do they not knock themselves out? Well, if you look online, some videos and in textbooks and even in some signs in wildlife parks and stuff, you'll see that they might say that their skull is constructed in such a way to have a inbuilt shock absorber. The plates on their skull just behind their beak has got like a spongy kind of texture, and it resists that impact. But that's not true. It's all lies, I tell ya! So a fairly recent study has been looking into this by filming woodpeckers whacking their head with a slow motion camera, and they pinpointed certain parts on its skull and on its beak to see if there's any difference in movement between those areas when it hits the wood. So when they reviewed the footage, they detected no difference in the motion throughout all of the checkpoints, which indicated no dampening and no absorption of that impact. Which kind of makes sense when you think about it, because the main purpose of the hammering is to make holes into the wood and break it apart to get the insects and all stuff like that. So if it had a dampening effect, it wouldn't have as much impact into the wood. As Sam van Wassenberg says, one of the blokes who'd done the study, imagine if you had a hammer with a built-in spring suspension on it. Every time you whack something, it's sprung, it'll be bloody useless. Obviously he didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean. So if it is using its head like a hammer, how does it not get concussed? Well, woodpeckers are pretty small. None have evolved with large heads. So that small compact head has got a lot less internal space around their brains than us mammal brains. So when it hits its head, the brain inside doesn't actually move that much. They also have different shaped brains to us. And all of this simply allows for them to get a relatively harder whack to the head than us mammals can withstand. Basically, they're just tough buggers. Just hammering their face into a tree with the faith that they're going to be alright. And they are. It's bloody raining again. Now they also have very unusual tongues that also deserves a quick mention. The tip of a lot of woodpeckers' tongues are barbed to get a better grip at the insects and stuff as they poke them in the holes. But even more impressive than that, it's just how bloody long they are. They're so long that they go through their beak, round the back of their skull, over the top and it goes back down into their nostril. Now because when the tongue comes up and goes round the back, it sort of forks off into two separate bits and goes round the back of their skull. Some people are saying that it's acting like a safety belt or some sort of shock absorber, but as we spoke about earlier, doesn't seem to be true. The great spotted woodpeckers have got stiffened tail feathers, so when they're climbing up the tree, it acts as like a little prop, stabilising it as it's going up the tree and going along the branches and stuff. So that's pretty cool. So if you're on a walk down by the woods, keep your ears out, because you might hear these amazing little birds smashing their heads against some wood. They're either going to get some insects, digging a hole for a nest, or just communicating, trying to find a decent mate. Till next time, I'll see you later, you little rascals.